Why loneliness after 65 isn't what you think. 5 surprising benefits of solitude. All right, folks, grab a seat, maybe a snack, because today we're diving deep, real deep, into something that's going to flip everything you've ever thought about being alone upside down and give it a good shake. Picture this. You're 65, maybe 70, heck, even nudging 80, and life's gotten a little quieter. The kids are off doing their thing, the house isn't buzzing like it used to, and you're spending more time solo than you ever expected. Society's got a name for that. Loneliness. Sounds like a punch to the gut, right? Like you're supposed to feel lost, sad, or stuck in some dreary corner with nothing but a ticking clock for company. But hold up, what if I told you that loneliness after 65 isn't the villain it's made out to be? What if, instead of a life sentence to gloom, it's actually a hidden superpower packed with some jaw-dropping perks you never saw coming? Today, we're unpacking 5 surprising benefits of solitude that might just change the way you see those quiet moments forever. And trust me, this isn't about sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. It's about thriving, growing, and owning your own space like a boss. Curious? You should be. Let's roll. Loneliness. Man, doesn't that word just drag a suitcase full of baggage behind it? It's like the second you cross that 65 mark, the world starts whispering or sometimes shouting that being alone is some kind of tragedy. People paint it like a black and white movie. Empty chairs at the dinner table, a phone that never rings, a one-way ticket to Miseryville. You've heard the lectures, stay connected or you'll shrivel up. And yeah, too much isolation can weigh you down. We're human. We need a little chatter now and then. But here's the twist that's going to turn this whole thing on its head. Solitude isn't the same as loneliness. And after 65, those solo stretches might just be your secret sauce to a happier, richer, more you life. There's a massive difference between being alone and feeling lonely, and today we're kicking the pity party to the curb to shine a spotlight on what solitude can really do for you. Spoiler alert, it's not what you've been told. We're talking freedom, peace, a sharper mind, and a chance to rediscover yourself in ways you didn't even know were possible. So if you're someone who's found yourself with more me time lately, or if you're eyeing it from afar, wondering what's up, this one's for you. Let's break down these 5 unexpected benefits and see why flying solo might just be the best move you never planned on making. First, let's set the scene. Bring it home a little. It's a random Wednesday afternoon. You're at the house, and it's quiet. No doorbell, no grandkids tearing through like tiny tornadoes, no one hollering for you to fix something or find the remote. It's just you, maybe a mug of tea, and the soft hum of the world outside. If you're used to a packed schedule or a full house, that stillness might hit you sideways. Maybe it feels strange, heavy, like something's missing. But what if I told you that quiet isn't a punishment? It's a power move. That's where we're headed today. Solitude's been dragged through the mud, painted as this big scary monster. But after 65, it's more like the universe tossing you a golden opportunity and saying, hey, what do you want to do with this? These 5 benefits we're about to unpack, they're the tools you didn't even know you had in your kit, ready to turn alone time into your own personal upgrade. Let's start with the first one, because it's a total game changer. Benefit number 1. Solitude hands you the freedom to run your own show. Think about it. How much of your life has been a juggling act for everyone else? Kids needing rides, a spouse with their quirks, friends with their drama, a job that never let up. You've spent decades bending over backwards, compromising on movie night pics, rushing to events you didn't even care about, keeping the peace when all you wanted was 5 minutes to breathe. But after 65, when the chaos dials back and you've got more time alone, something wild kicks in. You get to be the captain of your own ship. No more twisting yourself into knots to fit someone else's schedule or taste. Want to eat ice cream straight out of the tub at 2 p.m.? Do it. Feel like watching that old Western no one else could stand? Saddle up, partner. It's your call now. Solitude's like a backstage pass to live life on your terms, no explanations needed. And the science? It's all in. Studies show older adults who lean into their alone time report sky-high levels of autonomy and happiness. It's freedom, pure and unfiltered. Let me bring this to life with a story. Meet Betty. She's 68, widowed a few years back, kids all grown and spread across 3 states. For years, her life was a non-stop circus. cooking for a crowd, wrangling school projects, keeping her husband's coffee cup full while he grumbled about the news. When the house emptied out, she freaked. "What am I supposed to do with all this quiet?" she'd ask her sister over the phone, voice shaking. But one rainy Tuesday, she said to heck with it, grabbed a paint-by-numbers kit she'd impulse bought at the craft store and plopped down at the kitchen table. No one to interrupt, no one to nag about the mess. Hours slipped by, and when she stepped back, she had a lopsided little seascape and a grin she couldn't shake. Now, she paints whenever the mood strikes. Sometimes it's a sunset, sometimes it's a blob that looks like a drunk fish, and she doesn't care. She's whipping up recipes she'd never have tried with picky eaters around. Her pineapple upside-down cake could win awards, and she laughs at how she used to think solitude was a prison sentence. It's not. It's a wide-open playground, and she's calling the shots. Maybe you're thinking, that's cool for Betty, but I'd miss the hustle. And I get it. Total chaos has its charm. We're not saying ditch everyone and become a hermit. But this freedom thing? It's like hitting the reset button on your life's remote. You get to figure out what you want, not what the world's been shoving down your throat. Ever tried knitting because your friend wouldn't shut up about it, only to realize you hate yarn? With Solitude, you can skip the guilt trip and chase what actually sparks joy, whether it's gardening, binging true crime podcasts, or just sitting on the porch counting squirrels. No one's judging, no one's rushing you. Just you, doing your thing, owning it like a rock star. Let's slide into benefit number 2. Solitude sharpens your mind like a freshly honed blade. Yep, you heard me. Being alone can make you smarter, or at least keep your brain firing on all cylinders way longer than you'd expect. When you're always surrounded by noise, TV blaring, phones buzzing, people yakking nonstop, it's like your brain's stuck in a blender, no time to settle or think straight. But when you're solo, that racket fades, and your mind gets a chance to stretch out, take a deep breath, and do its thing. Research from big shots like the University of Michigan backs this up. Older adults who spend time in solitude, whether it's reading, puzzling, or just mulling over life, boost their focus, memory, and problem-solving chops. It's like a free workout for your head, and the quiet's your personal coach. Here's a real-life snapshot. Take Jim. He's 71, used to run a hardware store, always had customers or employees in his ear. When he hung up his apron, the silence hit him like a ton of bricks. "I felt like a fish out of water without the bustle," he'd tell his buddies at the diner. But one lazy afternoon, he grabbed an old sci-fi paperback off his shelf. Something he'd been meaning to read since Nixon was in office, but never had the headspace for. No interruptions, no rush, just him and the pages. He got sucked in, started jotting notes about the plot twists, even hopped online to dig up random facts about Mars. Next thing you know, he's tearing through novels, crushing crosswords, and debating his son about alien tech over video calls. His brain's sharper than it's been in years, and he swears those quiet hours are the secret sauce. Solitude's not a void. It's a launch pad for your mind to soar. Now I hear you. Some of you might be like, but I'd get bored out of my skull. And sure, staring at a blank wall for hours isn't the vibe we're going for. The trick's finding something that grabs you. Maybe it's a Sudoku book, a sketch pad, or just daydreaming about that fishing trip you never took. Point is, when you're alone, your brain gets to play without the crowd clogging the field. Ever notice how your best ideas hit when you're in the shower or strolling solo? That's solitude doing its thing, keeping your mental gears greased and spinning. Jim wasn't a bookworm till he gave it a shot. Maybe your sharpener's hiding in a hobby you haven't dusted off yet. Benefit number 3. Solitude wraps you in peace like a warm blanket on a cold night. Life's loud, always has been, probably always will be. Kids yelling, phones pinging, that one neighbor who thinks 6 a.m. is prime lawn mowing time. But after 65, when the volume drops and you've got more solo moments, solitude rolls in like a soothing balm. No drama, no demands, just calm washing over you. The science nerds love this one. Studies show older adults who carve out alone time report lower stress levels, better sleep, and moods that don't swing like a pendulum. It's like hitting pause on the madness and letting your soul kick back for once. Let's meet Gloria. She's 67, used to teach 3rd grade, a human tornado of energy. When she retired, the quiet threw her for a loop, decades of classroom chaos, gone in a snap. I didn't know what to do with myself, she'd laugh, half joking. But one crisp morning, she grabbed a tea and plopped on her back deck, no plans, no rush. Birds chirped, leaves rustled, and for the first time in years she felt still. No one needed her to grade papers or settle a playground spat. Now she guards that solo time like it's sacred. Reads cozy mysteries, scribbles in a journal, or just watches the clouds drift by. I didn't know peace till I stopped running, she says, and you can hear the calm in her voice. Solitude's not lonely. It's a recharge, a chance to hear your own heartbeat. Maybe you're thinking, peace sounds dope, but I'd miss the action, and that's valid. Balance is everything. But those quiet pockets? They're like a spa day for your soul. Ever feel fried after too much socializing? Like you've been talking for hours and your brain's begging for mercy? Solitude's your reset button, letting you soak in calm without a single apology. Try it. 5 minutes, no distractions, just you and the stillness. You might be shocked how good it feels to just be. On to benefit number 4. Solitude lets you rediscover who you are, deep down. Sounds heavy, I know, but stick with me. How much of your life has been shaped by other people's blueprints? Parent, partner, friend, employee. You've worn a dozen hats, and they've defined you, for better or worse. After 65, when those roles start peeling back, solitude's like a mirror popping up out of nowhere. You get to ask, who am I when the spotlight's off? And the answers might knock your socks off. Research says older adults who embrace alone time often find a stronger sense of self, less tangled in what others expect, more dialed into their own frequency. Ever gone to a party you didn't want to, just to avoid the where were you guilt trip? Solitude cuts that cord. It's not about shutting out the world, it's about choosing when to let it in. And when you do, you're sharper, calmer, tougher for it. Take my Aunt Marie, she's 70, total firecracker. Used to host every holiday, every barbecue, till she was running on fumes. When she started saying no, carving out solo days, people freaked. You okay? You're not lonely? She'd laugh. Lonely? I'm living. Now she's got her garden, her old vinyls, and a piece she never knew juggling a crowd. She still shows up when it matters, but those quiet days, they're her fuel. Solitude's not exile, it's strategy. Let's dig deeper into that freedom bit, because it's gold. After 65, life's handed you a hall pass, decades of duty in the rear view, and now you're free to play. Ever wanted to learn harmonica but didn't because your spouse hated the noise? Now's your shot. Ever dreamed of writing a goofy memoir about your wild youth? Grab a pen, no one's stopping you. Studies from the Journal of Aging show folks who seize this autonomy report less depression, more zest. It's like the world saying, you've earned this, go nuts. Here's another story. Meet Carl, 66, ex-carpenter, always had a crew around. When he retired, the quiet hit hard. Wife still worked, friends drifted. One day, alone in his shed, he started whittling. Something he'd done as a kid, but dropped for real work. First stick looked like a mangled toothpick, but he kept at it. Now he's got a shelf of little figures, bears, birds, a wonky Santa, and a grin that lights up the room. I'm not hiding, he says. I'm finding me. Solitude's not a cage, it's a workshop for your soul. Back to that brain boost. Let's geek out some more. When you're alone, your mind's not just chilling, it's rebuilding. Ever try solving a problem with 10 people talking over you? Chaos. Solo? You've got space to think, connect dots, dream big. There's this study from UCLA, fancy brain scans and all, showing older adults in quiet time light up parts of their minds tied to memory and creativity. It's like your brain's throwing a private party, and the guest list is just you. Take Ellen. She's 72, used to manage a bakery, always on. Retirement left her rattled, too much silence. But one day, she grabbed a puzzle from the thrift store, 500 pieces, a lighthouse. Took her a week, swearing the whole time, but when it clicked together, she felt like a champ. Now she's on puzzle number 10, started a journal, even sketches the birds at her feeder. I'm not bored, she says. I'm busy up here, tapping her head. Solitude's not dull, it's a mental gym. That peace thing? Let's stretch it out. Life's a noise machine. Traffic, TV, that guy at the store who won't stop talking. After 65, solitude's your mute button. Ever notice how you unclench after a long day when it's just you? Research from the American Psychological Association says older adults in solo mode drop cortisol, stress hormone, way down. It's not just calm, it's healing. Here's Frank. He's 68, ex-salesman, lived for the hustle. When he slowed down, the quiet spooked him. Decades of pitches, gone. But But one evening he sat by his window with a beer. No plan. Watched the sunset, listened to crickets, felt the world settle. Now he's got a nightly ritual: chair, drink, sky, and he's hooked. I used to chase peace, he says. Now it finds me. Solitude's not empty, it's full of quiet magic. Rediscovery's next, let's go deeper. You've been a dozen people, worker, parent, friend. After 65, solitude's your backstage pass to the real you. Ever wonder what you'd love if no one weighed in? Studies say folks who explore this solo space find purpose they didn't know they'd lost. It's like meeting an old friend, yourself. Meet Lila. She's 70, raised 4 kids, always on call. When they flew the nest, she felt invisible. One day, alone, she dug out her high school sketchbook, dusty, forgotten, started doodling, then painting. Now her walls are full of wild colors and she's planning an art show. I'm not just mom anymore, she says, I'm me. Solitude's not loss, it's a reunion. Resilience. Let's flesh it out. Life's messy. Health blips, goodbyes, surprises. Solitude toughens you up, teaches you you're enough. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows solo time builds emotional muscle. Folks who lean into it handle stress better, recover quicker. Take Henry, he's 74, lost his best friend last year, felt unmoored. Started fishing alone, just him and the lake. Hours of quiet, thinking, healing. When his car broke down last month, he shrugged, I'll figure it out. Solitude's not weakness, it's armor. Still here, you're a legend. If you're vibing, thinking, solo's not so bad, you're getting it. Freedom, sharpness, peace, self-discovery, resilience, 5 gifts you didn't expect. So try it. 5 minutes, just you, no noise. What pops up? Hit the comments, type solo if you're in, or spill your favorite alone time win. I'm reading every one, can't wait. If this video's flipping your view, smash that like, hit subscribe, ring the bell, let's keep it rolling. You're not just aging, you're rocking it. Catch you in the comments.